Hi, hello everyone. Good afternoon. Before I proceed for this session, I would like to express my greetings to ArtQ team who have invited me to share my views on COVID 19, especially to the students of architecture and design. Uh, while I was speaking to Team ArtQ about the presentation and talk for the COVID, uh, I came in contact with Shilpa Darshan Kumar, the co-founder of EarthQ. She asked me to talk on COVID, addressing the designers, especially students. I'm going to share a brief about my company, a small story of some of the observations I had in recent time of lockdown. And at last, we'll have few questions and queries from the audience. I'll take 20 minutes to brief about my content, and last 10 minutes will be for your queries. If I slip any question, I will definitely drop my suggestion personally. So you do stay connected. Let me start with my name because I have to introduce myself. My name is Preetham Gupta, and I belong to the cleanest city of the country, that is Indore. The city that ranked cleanest of India for the fourth time on the row, and one must visit and see the glory of awareness. Many of our architect friends working for the advancement of our city. I also had designed few places with my team of young designers, especially the circle at the entrance of airport and few more circles and squares, and some street designing also done by us. As we feel it's our duty to give back to our city. The team of young designers here is dynamic and ready to opt any challenge. So that the unity we have here among our designer fraternity and designer friends. Uh, my nature goes with my name. I can say my nature and my name both goes hand in hand. Like Preetham means loving, and I love my work. And my company name is Argha Designers Private Limited. Argha is a Sanskrit word that means creating meaningful, or you can say I don't create nonsense. So Arga is a term creating meaningful. So me and my name both accord beautifully with my profession of design. Like I love to work and we love to work and design meaningful. I established this firm in year 2007, and recently my younger brother, architect Soham Gupta, has joined me as a co-director of my company. And he is an architect and I am an interior designer, so it's the duo combination. Uh, he is the one who worked on low cost housing, and his projects has been recognized by PMO and CPWD also. We have also designed around 1.5 kilometers long a beautiful waterfront for the corporation of my motherland. The town name is Jhalrapatan. That's the small town of Rajasthan from where I belongs to, and the idea is to return something to your motherland, and that's the duty. I'll share you many duties of architects in this story and my content. So keep watching that. And what's the unique feature we have in our company? Like everyone design, decorate, do his work. What unique we do in our firm is like we design, we execute, we build, but the main feature of our firm is we maintain also because we believe in sustainability. Uh, we update our projects with some interval of time. It's matter of pride that the projects are still young and fresh as we did. Uh, the projects I did in last 10 to 13 years, they are still young and fresh. And I understand the another duty of mine to my clients. So that's the sustainable mode. Like making a house and delivering it to a client is not only your duty, maintenance is also your duty. You should maintain it like a baby. So, and one more feature that now in this lockdown we have doing consultation on developing forest on raw or barren land. And within this year, approximately we will cover 50 to 70 acres of land, where we providing solutions of extreme low cost plantation. Those can survive in a particular region, won't require much maintenance and give adequate return to our client also. Uh, this is also your duty again for a nature, as an architect. You should do this. And I interestingly do activities for students. As I mentioned, I run special classes, and soon we'll do online classes also. So this is again our duty for the students and young designers. And if I talk about my journey begins in the year 2003. After education, I'm talking, and I came in the field of architecture and design in 2003. Though I was a commerce graduate, and miles away there was no relation of mine and design. But I made a phrase that designers are born, not made. And I was the one who was born, not made and developed by education only. Uh, I was born to be here in this field. So everyone has his own story. I studied interior designing from NIFD, Jaipur, the one of the best college of those times. Must be now also. It would be the topper college, and I passed out from there. And then I came to Indore and I settled here. And as I am not only an interior designer, I'm an entrepreneur also. So I brainstormed several long-term goals and decided to start my own practice. So I started thinking how I start, how much time will I need. So I framed 15 years of policy at that time, and I actually found it difficult, or I say impossible, to start in this field. uh, I purchased several inspiring books, but as usual, it's my habit. I read only last pages and few starting pages, and that's that. My mind started wandering off many ideas and in many directions, and at last I left it on karma, because that's the thought I got as an asset from my father and my family. uh, just like a mature tree, capabilities and feelings have deep roots, and I acquired power of vision and struggling skills from my father, and I'm blessed to have all these things. In 2004, I remember those icy cold winter days in the month of December, when I was struggling and wandering with the ideas and struggling with the two-way thoughts. Like it was a story of riding on two horses. So it was too cold, and I was very in a dicey situation. So I was not able to take decision. So at midnight, I think it would be around 1 or 2 o'clock of midnight, December month, temperature would be 5, 6, 7 degrees, something like that. I wake up and took a cold water bath, and relaxed. And once your mind is clear and heart has accepted, then really no one can stop you. At that day, I written on the board, I will be a designer. I will not fluctuate in any ways. Now I felt the importance of all those last pages I read of those inspirational book. Really. But before last pages of those books, I like to share the role of academics. Here I address my students. As you know, the role of foundation for any structure may be 20 or 30% of the building. Same is the role of your academics in your career. In my view, 30% academics works and rest you will learn in the field of ground. So this 30% is actually your base. So if you have done your performance in college studies, you will definitely never settle for anything less than first place. So every subject is important, either it's interesting or not. You can escape at the time of college, or you can escape here, but in practical world, you can't. So face the toughest. Don't leave any topic, either it's a history. History is almost, I found, tedious for most of us. But believe me, once you start your practice, you will be most essential topic. History will be the most essential topic. Because now when we draw any project, we keep thinking about the history of our concept or our design. And whenever as I recently got a project, it's a hotel project, and we have to design in a Rajasthani architecture style. So I started studying the history of columns and history of the leaf, history of the carving, and we are doing studies of all. For me, sketching was forceful, and I still remember how I bunked those classes, and now I know how much I'm paying for that. I remember one more incidents of my life. And at initial stage, I got a client for whom I was building his house. He was some IIM passed out, and he caught me that I am struggling with two phases of minds. So he just took my class, I can say. In a Hindi phrase, he said, "Ke bhago mat bhog lo," means don't run, face it. How much you run, once you face it, you will overcome with your problem. Right? So, setting the framework of a project is one aspect, and implementing is another. True excellence is when you propose an idea that may be good, but does not necessarily gain everybody's immediate approval, and you have to overcome obstacles and to implement it. Right? So, uh, it's not necessary, I can say. Right, and although failure is a great teacher, but you cannot afford the time to learn from failures. Uh, an architect cannot be subjected to such processes, and failure have no connection. And I don't believe we get many chance to prove ourselves, and not at all. In architecture, we can't get any chance. When at proposal presentation, if you fail to convince your client, you can't get it back with another proposal. You will lose the client. No failure required here. So this I learned from Dubai, and how they build the mega structures. Many brilliant ideas have been circulated to the globe, to the various nations, and many nations, many countries are copying their concepts. I remember the lines stated by Rashid Al Maktoum, the ruler of Dubai, while I was reading his autobiography. The shortest way to bright future is lies in creativity and pioneering approach. So creativity and pioneering approach both are two phases of coin, and that's why that country is leading in construction. You are creative, you don't have proper approach or a pioneering approach, your creativity is of no use. That will be bundle of papers like unreleased movies. And at our office we usually see making mega mosque, making of Khalifa. That is from our favorite shows. And so after academics, These are some facts and approaches that works. You will gain more knowledge from the university of life, and be you should be a good observer, right? So by careful observing everything that went or that going around you, you can learn more from this life. And an architect has to be a good observer. You learn more with observations, and of course with the experience, with the due course of time, you will learn more. But observation is a key thing for any budding architect or a student. He should be master of all, or I say he should be all-rounder in every field, like who one can perform in marketing, management, and of course design is the key. So one has to be an all-rounder, right? When I talk about the COVID, since the world is reeling with under global crisis caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, so I feel that architecture is the only effective tool to kindle a spark of economic growth. And we all know that our architecture is functional, that changed with the need of a personal. Before comfort, we actually built our home for the safety. But nowadays, luxury has become a key element in making anyone's house. And ages before, or I say at the starting of mankind, we used to build our home for the safety, like safety from predatory animals or bad weather. That was the concern for making house. Luxury was not there at the time. In next stage, when we developed and the mankind, in that next stage, we started building house for the safety from enemies, and we built the fortresses and big walls to save ourselves from, especially from enemies. And if I talk about current situation, okay, what is the requirement of now from architecture? So a building has to be self-isolated. A house can provide you isolation and safety from these kind of pandemics. And this pandemic will definitely impact the projects of group housing, because maintaining a social distance will be the biggest factor now. And yesterday also I was talking in a session, online session, that housing projects should be sustainable, not use and throw. Use and throw means previously, or 30 to 40 years back, at least 3 generations have been using one house. But now one generation is making 3 house. Is this sustainability? I don't know. Not at all. And I remember the habit before 15 to 20 years, when we used to study old books and old dresses, even shoes. That was our, actually it was our culture. But now we have become more materialistic, like 3 cars for one person, 10 shoes for one, and 3 house for one, some farmhouse and flats and weekend house, weekend homes. So the life has become materialistic, I can say. And so the approach has changed. But I must say thanks to this pandemic, who taught us to live with minimal and sustainable. Now we are more focused on our actual requirement. We are back to the basics, and nothing is of useful. Like I said, weekend home, weekend flat, you can't use anything except one single house, and you are enjoying that house also. And for now, on a positive note, I don't think we will compromise with the luxury. And I'm listening this luxury word many times in few webinars. So I found luxury has many definitions. For one, it may be a gold-plated furniture or a crystal chandelier. For other, it may be living with family, dining with them on a terrace with surrounding plants, playing with kids. So it's everyone's own perspective, and it's very vast. So I don't think we should mix luxury and need, both. So, or it depends on the personal choice of everyone's client. And this COVID is offering an indication to us that how much life is left, and live what you have, maximize yourself. It's time to live right now. I don't say that this will bring something negative, or this will bring something not good for us. I feel it will bring very positive to us. People will do expenses on their self, on their well-beings, rather than being so materialistic. Rather than investing in many cars, they will invest on good health, and they will invest on their self. So it's time for us. This may open new doors for us, new scope of work, like work from home, because social distancing we have to maintain, and many things are lined up, right? We got a vision from our prime minister also of self-dependent, that is Atmanirbharta, right? For that we'll have to how we'll achieve this term. So I think for that we'll have to advance our human capital, make them capable of dealing efficiently with the challenges those lies ahead, providing the highest level of quality and productivity. So advancement of our human capital will evolve now. You have to train your labor, you have to train your contractors, you have to make them multifunctional. Last time also I stated that you have to make them multi-talented. Like if one person is doing plumbing work, he should know the electrical work also, he should know digging also, and carpentry work also. As this happens in Europe, I had seen this thing at many places. Like only 4 people can build the whole house, and here we required 40 type of agencies usually to build one house. All right, so our minds are factories of ideas. As an architect or a designer, it really, we are the factory ideas, and everyone must believe that his opinion counts. So he or she must contribute to the vision, and it's just bit perception. No one knows actually what will going to happen in next couple of months. We are predicting vaccine will come or not, but I'm sure definitely the vaccine will come, things will sort out, but it will leave the impact. This pandemic will definitely leave the impacts and footprints on us, on every field, not only on architecture, on medical science, production, sales, marketing, everywhere. So I think we should stay positive, keep doing research, research for the betterment of society. Now we got a clause to work for the society. You must have heard the Vasudev Kutumbakam. The whole world is one family. So think about that big family and stay positive, right? So I take a pause here and read the questions. I had few questions lined up. I'll take questions. Thank you everyone. I got many likes. Many people are listening me. Thanks everyone for appreciating me. There is a question. You told one should be all-rounder, but it's not feasible for everyone to do management, commerce, also together with architecture. Then how you develop other skills? Oh, I didn't suggested to do many courses, dear. Life is short, and I don't suggest you to spend your whole life in studies and academics. So, well, I said academics have a partial role, and for rest you have to develop in the field or in the university of life, as I told before. So before that you need to explore your hobbies, your interest. Like I do photography, that helps me in design and in terms of color depth, tone, subjects and objects. I learned many things from photography. I do traveling to explore various places and countries. Once you see live, you learn immediately. Like watching any project in a book or on web, it's different than watching it live and observing. So improve your observation. I told you before also, an architect should be a good observer. So once you start observing, you start traveling, you start observing, you learn faster. Like even I do cooking, I suggest you do good cooking. Once I met an architect, Karan Grover. He is also a good cook. So he suggested me to be a good cook, because a good architect is a good cook. So I learned we have limited ingredients in our kitchen, and we have to make different or many dishes from same ingredients. And same applies to our field also. We have limited material, we have limited combinations. So we have to understand the blending of those materials, and we should know the taste of our material also. Like food ingredients, our material also have flavor, aroma, and you should know the perfect blending of these materials. Right. Thank you. Next question is how to ensure the wattages and placements of lights depending on the particular area. It's a technical question from Priyal. How to ensure the wattages and placements of? It's a college level questions. So I think you should know first how to calculate lumens. So calculate the lumen, divide it from the area. There is a formula behind that, and get your output done. And I think you will get this answer better in your study books or in college. Thank you. One question is from Mr. Mandi. From manufacturer side, what changes should we bring in our working style, and how to apply for your classes? I will mention you. Okay. So there is a question from marketing side. What changes should we bring in our working style? For marketing and manufacture, our PM has given a wonderful thought of Atmanirbharta. So I think developing a pioneer spirit will be the key element. As I mentioned above also, that creativity and approach, pioneering approach, both are two phases of coin, and go hand in hand. With pioneering spirit and creativity, you can bring the change. And our routine is the enemy of pioneering spirit. So now it's time to avoid routine practices and adopt creative frame of mind to achieve the success. Now it won't be easy for you people to meet and discuss with the people or display your products. So technology will be the game changer, and one has to look for it. Thank you. Pratik, all designers are sitting home. What should we do to improve our skills? There is a question from Pratik. All designers are sitting home. What should we do to improve our skill? Pratik, this is the time. This is actually a good time to sharpen your axe, because as a designer we didn't got the time or vacant time to sit and think or do research. So better you explore your hobbies. And if you are a designer or a practicing designer, you should explore different materials, because while in practice we didn't got the time to think about the material, out of the box material. And as I told you, you should learn the blending of material. So learn about materials, explore, attend the webinars. There are many education seminars going on. They are really guiding and teaching us. So don't feel that this time is vacant for you. If you talk in my concern, I'm doing more work than previous time. Right. Another question is, while deciding the theme before designing, other than color and shape, what is included in? While deciding deciding theme before designing? Other than color, shape, what else included in it? Uh, I say before you design, before you make any concept, color and design, the main concern is client's choice. So for making a concept, there are many several aspects. What is the budget? What is the requirement? What is the need? How much the client will maintain this project? Because expectations are more and much. Everyone wants a flourished house, full-fledged interior house, but it's not easy make that in that limited budget. And for that, you have to do a proper counseling with your client, and we designers are really a good psychiatrist. We do counseling with the client and understand the need, and then we decide the concept, because a client has many ideas in his mind. He flies like anything. He want German also, European also, and many things like that. So you have to sum up the things and bring him at one platform and share our ideas. That's it. Thank you. So I have few more questions, but I am out of the time. It's 12:32 now. So I must take rest here, and I will say there is one more question came. What can be newest entry in architecture and interior design in terms of concept and freshness? Of course, for comfort and freshness, I said luxury has its own definition. I am addressing Pami Forever 84. I don't know the name. So, dear Pami, the freshness comes with the greenery. And I told you, luxury has its own definition. For you, it may be different, and for me, it may be different. But of course, the freshness comes with the nature. So, you use natural elements, fresh plants, green elements in your house. They will bring positive thoughts to your life, and they bring oxygen in your environment. Your house should be cross ventilated. So, that's the thing, right? So I must say thanks everyone, and I should leave now. And I mention here a special thanks to Mr. Vinod, especially one who was regularly doing follow up with me. It was nice talking to you all, and keep in touch, stay safe, enjoy your home. I will post my web address and contact details. You can contact me there anytime. You can ping me, right? Thank you so much. Bye bye.